Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would film before I leave for uni a little uni Q&A thing. So I asked you on Instagram to give me some questions for it, and I got a few, so I am going to answer them for you. So you know as well, before I answer the questions, I have been to uni before a couple of years ago, but I didn't finish. I'll explain in one of the questions. I was at the University of Sussex doing a foundation year, ready to do biomedical science, but yeah, I didn't finish, so that's just a bit of context for some of the questions. So the first question is, what are you studying and where? So I am going to Oxford Brookes University to study medical science. I'm going into first year, not foundation year, and my course is 3 years long, just like any usual degree. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I am moving tomorrow, so. The second question is, are there any particular modules you're looking forward to? And yeah, I think there is. I know compared to biomedical science, medical science has more physiology modules, like human physiology, so which is more like clinical, like medicine based. So I think I'm looking forward to that. I think the first years for biomed and medical science are pretty much the same, but I know that in second year, I think medical science has specific physiology modules that biomedical science don't have. But I think we do a lot of the same things, like cell biology and microbiology, biochemistry. A lot of that is the same, I think, but I think we do more specific physiology stuff. The next question is, how was your first day? I haven't started at Brookes yet, so I can't speak for that. I have been to an induction day, which was good, in August. And my first day at Sussex, I can't really remember my moving day that well. I know that most of my flatmates were there already. I think they moved the day before. I think there was a reason I couldn't move on the first day, and I had to move in on the second moving day. I'm moving in on the second moving day this time as well, because I had to book a slot and I couldn't book a slot for the first day. But my first day of like lessons at Sussex, I say lessons because everything was online. It was in the middle of COVID. It was very different. Well, I think it's very different to what it's meant to be like, but I do remember sleeping through my first ever lecture, the online lecture, because I set an alarm, and normally I wake up naturally at like 7-8 o'clock, or I did, especially back then, and somehow I slept through it and I woke up at 11 o'clock, which is when the lecture ended, and I was like, oh. I emailed my lecturer and stuff, but she probably didn't really care. I don't think, obviously it's on you if you don't attend your lectures. I think it's not like school where they're going to tell you off if you don't turn up. They don't care if you don't turn up. I don't think. Not well, some lecturers might. It will probably depend on your lecturer, but I feel like in general at university it's kind of your responsibility rather than like your teachers. A bit like in school, it's different to that. Next question is, do you regret not finishing your access course and then potentially going to a better uni or a better course? For a bit of context, I left university at the beginning of 2021, and then in September 2021 I started an access course at college. I think I've got a video way back near the beginning saying like what am I doing this year, like for last academic year. So yeah, I did an access course, or I started an access course at college for biomedical sciences. So it's a bit like doing the foundation year, but it was at a college. and it was the equivalent of like 3 A-levels. But again, I didn't finish it because I was struggling a bit at that college. The course was only 2 days a week, but it was quite a long 2 days, and it was really confusing the way that they ran the course, and it didn't follow the timetable the way that they were meant to. Like, for example, on a Thursday, which was like, it was ran on a Thursday and Friday, so the first day, I had 2 lessons of chemistry, then a lesson of biology, and a lesson of tutorial. The tutorial was straight after lunch, and then biology at the end, and the 2 chemistries in the morning. I finished my UCAS application really early, which is what the tutorial was for, because some of my courses were medicine, so I had to go an early UCAS deadline, and so I didn't have to go to tutorial. So I would take an extended lunch, sometimes work somewhere else or go around town or something. But some days they, without telling me, even though they had all the means to contact me or somebody on my course to contact me, they would switch biology and tutorial, so that biology was straight after lunch, and I'd end up missing biology, which I needed to go to, because they haven't told me that they switched the 2 lessons, because I didn't need to be in tutorial. So I'd come back and it was tutorial, and I'd be like, oh, and I'd leave again. And they weren't very good at supporting students with disabilities. I had information from the university that I gave to them, and they were like, oh yeah, we can't provide like half this stuff, and I was like, okay. And then I spoke to the woman at like study support or like disability support, and she just wanted to teach me like study skills and like how to revise, but I already kind of knew that, and I tried to tell her that, but she took it as that I didn't want any help from her, when I did. I just wanted different help. Like, I know how to study already. I didn't need help with that. I just needed specific help in the classroom, and, you know, like managing time, like managing stuff. But like, as soon as she kind of concluded herself that she thought that I didn't want her help, she wouldn't like speak to me anymore, and she would just be like, well, no, you don't want my help. And I was like, I didn't say that, but you know, it was really confusing. I did read the Ofsted report for the college, and it requires improvement, and there was like a few like organisational things that had been picked up in the Ofsted report, even though normally the Ofsted are looking mainly at the 16 to 19 education, and I was in adult education. Adult education was mentioned, but it seemed it was one of the better run things, so I tried to think how the 16 to 19 education bit was. I don't know, but yeah, I just physically, like, my body, I just couldn't handle the course and I couldn't handle like the disorganisation. It was just all over the place, and I just tried, and we even tried it so that my mum would be working in Brighton at the same time as I was in college, where I was at college in Brighton, so that like I could have a bit of respite during the day. But it still didn't really work, because I would leave college at lunchtime and just like not want to go back because it was so overwhelming. But yes, so do I regret not finishing that course? Sometimes, because yeah, as the question stated, I could have potentially gotten a place at a better university. My firm choice was set to be Exeter for medical science. I don't actually really know the university rankings anymore. I don't know where Exeter sits in comparison to Oxford Brookes, but I think Exeter is Russell Group, but I think that's the only difference. I got rejected from a few of the higher universities already, so sometimes, yeah, I regret not finishing it, but then at the same time, when I think about when I was there, I was like, it was so hard to like manage everything. Even if I continued, I don't know if I would have been able to keep up good grades. Like my grades were okay, but I don't know if I would have been able to keep it up. And then that in turn would have affected university as well, because if I hadn't got my predicted grades, then I still wouldn't have got into the university. So I don't really know. I don't fully regret it, but then I sometimes wonder if things could be different, but I don't really know. I don't know how much longer I would have survived at that college if I didn't leave when I did. I don't know. The next question is, why did you decide to do your course? So why did you decide to do medical science? Well, I guess I've had an interest in medicine and healthcare, and I was alright at sciences at school. So I guess I just kind of wanted to go down that route. There isn't anything else that I really thought about doing at university. I thought about psychology, but then the market after doing a psychology degree is so saturated for like graduate jobs. Like everyone think, oh yeah, psychology, it'll look good. And it does, but a lot of people do psychology and there's not that many jobs in psychology. Like, I don't know if I could handle being a psychologist, a therapist, and then, which is like obviously the main career paths. I don't know if I could do that. I think medical science, biomedical science is a lot more open-ended. There's more options at the end, I think. There's lab-based work, there's clinical-based work, you can do top-up training. I could do top-up and do pharmacy, I could do a top-up and do medicine. I don't know. I don't actually really know what I want to do career-wise. So doing a quite open course is probably better at the moment. Plus, if I do well enough in my degree, like if I get a 2-1 or above, then that leaves me open to a lot of graduate programs as well that aren't necessarily science related, because I know for graduate medicine, you have to have, for some programs you have to have a degree 2-1 or above. It doesn't necessarily have to be in science sometimes. It depends on the school. But yeah, if I decided on a different career path towards the end of my degree and there was a graduate option or a way that I could switch to that career path after doing my degree, then yeah, I can do that if I do well enough in my degree. And the next question is, why didn't you finish university before? So as I said, I was at Sussex doing a foundation year in biomedical science. Well, it was a general like life sciences foundation or bioscience, but the aim was for me to go into biomedical science after that. And there's a couple of reasons why I left. So firstly, it was the middle of COVID, like I said. Everything was online, nothing was normal. Like less than 2 weeks after I was living there, my flat got put into isolation for a month. Couldn't leave my flat for a month. I could go in my bedroom, in my kitchen, in my bathroom. That was about it. I shared the kitchen. I didn't really even see my flatmates because not all of us had COVID. I was COVID positive, and so were like 1 or 2 of my other flatmates, and the rest of them were negative. So we didn't want to infect them and they didn't want to get infected. So we kind of avoided each other, even though it was the only other contact we had with people. We spoke a little bit, but I didn't do an awful lot with them because I didn't want to infect anyone who was negative, because that's not fair. And also there was a risk of me having a hospital admission. I mean, I ended up never actually going, but there was the the risk was there. So, I mean, at that point, I was so exhausted anyway, and yeah, so I pulled out, and I could have gone back to Sussex. They left the space open for me. I could have gone back last September or January, or I probably could have pushed it back to now and still gone there. But after just being stuck there for months and not doing anything, it's just like, I don't want to feel like that again in the same place. So I decided to apply for somewhere different, and here we are. So the next question is, what would you regard as uni essentials? Well, starting with, apart from your phone, another internet-enabled tablet or computer, because even though everything like in person and stuff, so many resources are online. Like even textbooks, you might not even have to buy any textbooks, because they will, a lot of the time they will give you access to ones online, or the library will have access online to various textbooks and places for you to get information, like journals, articles, dictionaries, all that kind of thing. You can get online, and somewhere on one of those devices to do word processing, for writing essays and writing lab reports, whatever it is you do in your degree. So yeah, you kind of, I would say in this day and age, you kind of need a computer of some description, whether it's a tablet computer or a laptop or even a desktop. You need something, I think, these days. And then after that, you need a means of taking in information in like lectures and stuff. So again, this could be your computer or tablet, or it could be paper, notepad and pen. You need a good set of pens, a good notepad for taking notes. I tend to, even though I only had online lectures before, I'd never been to a person one, but I probably work the same way. I would handwrite in the lecture, handwrite my notes, do like rough notes, and then later on I would write up the notes neater, either on my iPad or on paper, but like different paper, so that it's almost like revision and all the information there like neater and in some kind of order. So that's kind of like what you need for like uni in general. And then if you're in halls, there's other things that you might need, like you need at least a pan and a frying pan, maybe depending on what you eat, a baking tray, you know, something to put in the oven, a couple of plates, a couple of bowls, a basic set of cutlery, knives, fork, spoon, some scissors. You won't have an awful lot of space if you're in halls, so you can't bring like your entire kitchen. There's a lot of stuff that you might not even use, so make sure that the stuff that you bring is stuff that you're actually going to use to cook whatever it is that you usually cook. Because when I was at uni before, obviously I don't know about Brooks yet because I'm not there, but when I was at uni before, we got 2 cupboards and a drawer. So in one of my cupboards I had my like cupboard food, you know, dry pasta and all that. In the other cupboard I had like my plates, my bowls, and my like pans and other kitchen stuff. And then in the drawer I had like kitchen utensils and cutlery. And then I also had a shelf in the fridge and a shelf in the freezer, and then we could use the fridge door for milk and stuff. But you don't get that much space, so don't bring that much stuff. I'm lucky in a way that I am allowed to have a mini fridge in my room for medication and supplements. So I have got space in there to have a couple of like drinks and stuff, so I don't have to worry about clogging up the main fridge with that, and I don't have to worry about clogging up my main fridge with 40 sip and 40 juice, because my flatmates will hate me. You know, bring, if you can buy, like, if you like drinks, like fizzy drinks and stuff, buy a big like pack to take with you when your like parents are dropping you off and stuff, so you have a lot to like start off with. because then you don't have to drag it back home from the shop yourself. Obviously in your room most universities don't provide bedding, so you need bedding. You get a mattress, so you need a sheet and a duvet and a pillow, and bring some home comforts as well. Plant. No candles though, no open fires. You're not allowed that in most university accommodations, if not all. You know, it's a nice decor. You have to be careful putting stuff on the walls, so bring your command strips and stuff if you trust them. Yeah, I think that covered most of it, I think. Anything else is just kind of extra. Just bring your basics and then like stuff that you know you really need. And then anything else you can probably pick up in a shop if you need it, or if somebody comes to visit you, they can come and drop that in for you. Yeah, that's probably my answer to that question. And so the last question is, what are you going to do in your free time at uni other than studying? Because a full-time degree is a bit like a full-time job. It's not just when you're in the lectures and labs and seminars and workshops and stuff, tutorials. You know, it's all the stuff you do outside of that as well, your assignments, just general revision, general organisation of your notes and stuff. I am planning on joining a gymnastics club at university. There's one that's connected to Oxford University. So the two universities share a gymnastics club. Because I do, well, up until this week, I did gymnastics on a Wednesday evening. So I'm hoping to get back into that again, although it runs on Oxford University terms. So I know it won't start until sometime in October. So I've got a few weeks to figure that out. And then there's also an ASC group, that's autism, that meets on like a Wednesday lunchtime. So I might go to that group. They run it online and in person. So but the in-person one is on the nearest. It's on my campus, so I might go to that. And other than that, I don't know at the moment. I might see what else I see at the Freshers' Fair. But then there's also like exploring Oxford as well. I'm going to have carers or like PAs like I have here, but I'm going to have them 7 days a week instead of 3. And so there's stuff in Oxford that we can do for free. So there's like the botanical gardens and stuff, which normally you have to pay for, but a carer can get in for free, and I can get in for free as a student. So that's good. And I think the care agency mentioned that I might be able to get like discounted cinema. So there's that. And yeah, there's quite a lot to do in Oxford, and quite a historical city, so there's lots of exploring to do there. And I know there's a gym in my accommodation. I don't think it's that big. If it's not any good, then I know that there's another gym down the road that I can join instead. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up, I think. So that was all the questions. Hopefully this video won't be too long and boring. So don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you next time on this channel. Bye!